Okay, folks, there's another video, and this is from Dr. Richie, Indisputable. I'm showing you this because I want to. This is my theme. My matter is like this is a reason. This is another reason to defund the police. Yep. This is crazy. This story is really crazy, folks. Let you listen.
An elected sheriff shoots at black men in his own neighborhood who were selling pine straw. Pine straw. Pulled out his gun, shot at him. You would say, no way in the hell. Put it up, full mask. I got a story to tell you. A Georgia sheriff shoots at a vehicle of men selling door-to-door pine straw. The off-duty sheriff was at his home, decided to shoot at the tires of a vehicle of two men who were driving, selling pine straw in his community. Okay, there's more. Sheriff Howard Seals of a place called Putnam County, Georgia, was approached at his home by two men selling pine straw door-to-door in early June. After discovering they did not have a license to solicit, he told them to stay there until the deputies came to write them a ticket. When the men tried to get into their truck and say, listen, we're leaving, the sheriff pulls out his gun, fires at the men, hitting the truck tire, and made them stop and get out of the vehicle. That's just the start, okay? Once again, what is the scenario? You have two black men in a rural country town in Georgia. They are selling pine straw.
In Georgia.
They are selling pine straw. The sheriff is probably doing work outside of his home. They see him. They say, hey, we got this pine straw here. Make a good deal for it. Sheriff says, you got a license to sell? No, sir. Probably don't need one.
You come here, boy. You got a license to sell, boy. That's what they really wants to say, boy. What you doing over here, boy? That's what they're really saying.
I'm the sheriff in this town, and you stay right there until my deputies come. The hell? Well, first of all, I don't know who you are. You don't have on the sheriff's outfit. You haven't pulled me over. This sounds silly as hell. So they leave. And the sheriff pulls out his weapon and shoots at him. I'm going to give you some back.
That's crazy, folks. Pulls out his weapon. For what? Like, why in the world are you shooting at somebody? He's shooting, he has no weapon. If he's a suspect, he has no weapon at all, and he's going away. That means you're shooting behind him. You're shooting behind the so-called suspect now. You're gonna call him. You're shooting him in the back. That's what it is. That's what you guys are doing. So-called cops. Well, what they call them another name in the black community, race soldiers. And in this case, that's a good term to call them. Like some in the black community will call them race soldiers. And yeah, some of you guys know already, but that's what they call these. They would call cops like this, or cops in general.
Ground and highlight some of the nuances that should have been highlighted when this first happened. The sheriff told the local news, it did make the news locally, quote, I knew exactly what I was doing. That's what the man said. The man said, I knew exactly what I was doing, and I'd do it again. It was appropriate in that scenario with what I was doing. I would not have done that if it was an occupied street with people around or something like that. Sheriff, it was an occupied street. The two human beings you shot at, the individuals you shot toward, were occupying the street. You shot at individuals for something that's not even a crime. I checked. It is a city citation.
Even if it was, you shouldn't have shot at them.
It's not even a misdemeanor. It's not even a criminal offense. There's more. When notified of the incident, the district attorney, the DA, who has the power to call on the Georgia Bureau of Investigation to investigate police officers independently, took a look at the case and said to local sources, quote, what this amounts to in short is two criminals have made a really poor choice by showing up at the sheriff's doorstep. And what resulted was two criminals were removed from the streets and hopefully prevented from perpetrating further crime.
This is more. Is this any proof that we should defund the police, folks? This definitely is proof. To change this whole concept of policing. That's a radical view, but you know what I mean? Who cares what people think? Because that doesn't mean that we have we still have some sort of policing that protects the community, in a way, stop crime, but you could prevent crime or stop crime. You know what I mean? This is, I would say, stop crime. You know what I mean? Some kind of system that does that. But in this type of policing, the way it is now, policing now, this whole system has got to change, folks.
The DA, Barksdale, also admitted he is personally close to the sheriff. Quote, he wanted to disclose up front that he was extremely close to the sheriff, according to UnionRecorder.com. DA Barksdale is the same attorney who cleared the cops in the death of Breonna Greer, who fell out of a moving cop car while being handcuffed. We covered that right here on Indisputable.
What?
District Attorney T. Wright Barksdale III also confirmed to the Daily Beast that he personally knew Lieutenant Primus, one of the sheriff's deputies, who arrested her. Damn. It sounds like, Mr. DA, that everybody you personally know, they can get away with things that seem...
I think that's the white woman, what he's talking about. There's a white suspect who escaped the cops. She was in handcuffs. But wasn't in handcuffs. She was in a cop car. I think she ran out of it, I think she pulled. I don't know if she got a gun, got a cop's gun, and she escaped the cop car. And they didn't put her in cuffs or anything. And they just ran out. She ran out of the car. I don't know if she had took the cop's gun. But he has a video of that. You could explore that on his channel. Look that up, folks. I saw the video. And I think that's the one he's talking about. The white woman who escaped the cop car. And she's treated differently. Totally differently than these guys. He's actually a suspect. I mean, a criminal, probably. Most likely. I mean, then these guys, these are door-to-door salesmen, like the canvasser or a salesman, door-to-door, you know. I mean, and you get shot at by the cops, which is crazy.
Questionable or criminal. And you are okay with publicly saying, I know them personally. This is new to us. Nobody is really covering it up. The sheriff did a press conference, yeah, I did it, I'll do it again. DA said, yeah, he did it. And the people he shot at were two criminals that we got off the street. Let me be very clear about the law. Every police officer that we have spoken to about this, and the two attorneys that we consulted, made it very clear. Police officers, on duty, off duty, post-certified, cops, they do not get to shoot at individuals when there is no actionable felony being committed or the threat of somebody's life in danger, including their own. You cannot make the argument here that one of those exceptions applies.
Exactly. That's what That's what I was saying.
Fine. These men were shot at because of a citation. They could have died. They could have died. So while the sheriff did his press conference,
yeah, but if it was somebody else, they know they wouldn't ask. They wouldn't ask them. If it was a white person, white door-to-door guy, do you think they would have really asked them, folks? Come on, you know. And Dr. Ritchie, you know that too. They wouldn't have asked them. A citation. They did not have a permit, but nobody would ask them if they're white. I mean, come on. I doubt it, folks. If you think that they would, you'll be. Then your thinking is not. You're not being honest, folks. Whoever thinks that.
doubling down and admitting to the offense at hand, and the DA backs it up. Understand that the law is very clear. You discharge your weapon at individuals who, according to your own words, only committed a citation infraction. We reached out. We wanted a comment from Sheriff Seals, who told us, and I quote, "I committed no crime in the way I handled the incident and cannot understand why anyone would think I have. As for my relationship with District Attorney Barksdale, we are close friends and have a close working relationship. I have been personal friends with every district attorney whom I ever worked with throughout my career." It continues. "He is well within his authority to request the Georgia Bureau of Investigation to investigate me. If he believes I have perpetrated some criminal act, he further has the authority to bring any evidence that I committed a crime before a grand jury, should he want to. And such a jury could return an indictment against me, should a majority of the jury see fit to return a true bill. We also reached out to Barksdale. Barksdale is a little smarter than the sheriff. Barksdale decided not to reply, not to respond. Now, they're going to try to muddy this story up. I got this story because of a tip from an officer.
Mm-hmm.
Understand where we got this story from. I'm not in Putnam County. A cop contacted us to give us this extreme miscarriage of justice because they see it for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
They are going to try to muddy this story up and say, well, one guy actually did have a warrant for his arrest.
One good cop in a bad system.
It was some type of technical probation violation, I believe. And the other guy had some criminal...
They don't last long.
issues in his past, but no active warrant. So they're going to make the argument, well, we were able to get some dangerous people off the street. Really? You see, in a court of law, evidence is weighed based on...
Get some black people off the streets. Oh, okay. That's what they really mean. None in our neighborhood. Don't come around here, boy. That's what they're saying.
on priority and fairness. So the one simple question in a court of law that would apply here, Mr. DA, Sheriff, were you aware that there was a warrant out for the arrest of one of the individuals you shot at on that day? The answer will be no. Sheriff, were you aware that a citation is not in fact a criminal offense? The answer will be yes. Sheriff, were you aware that discharging your firearm toward individuals without there being an actionable felony committed, are you aware that that is considered to be adverse to protocol and illegal? He would have to say yes, because he has been post-certified and they teach you these rules there. So why has he not been investigated? All right. Wise thoughts.
Obviously, this is just a horrible, disheartening incident, and you know this because you're a student of the law currently yourself. You're familiar with the concept of equal protection under the law. Apparently, in Putnam County, it's equal protection under the law so long as it's not the goddamn sheriff transgressing against you as you're out there trying to earn a living for yourself and your family. This is just nuts on about 100 different levels. The fact that the DA would come out and say, look, this is my guy.
Yep.
And I make no bones about it. This is my friend. And so I'm going to essentially defend his honor, even when he's committing obvious crimes against the citizens we are sworn to protect. Is disheartening. And I think the only answer here would be some sort of federal situation to come in and clean this up. Somebody has to go above their heads, because obviously the citizens in Putnam County can't expect that they would get any justice when an officer of the law transgresses against them. This is just crazy, honestly.
Yeah. We will follow up on this story.
Here you go, folks. And that's why we should that's why defund the police is a must. And this thing is crazy. This is America, I guess. Well, we shouldn't be surprising, I guess. These things like this haven't gone away, folks. I mean, it's not just America. Actually, I shouldn't say just America, but in this case, America. You see things like this happening. I mean, you know what I mean? Especially to black people, you see things like this happening. I mean, and it's terrible. In this case, America, yeah. Things have changed, but how much? Not by much. Yeah, in a way. Anyways, folks, that's it for this video. Till the next one.